When you're in the mood for something spicy, definitely make chicken tinga. In a pan, throw a bunch of sliced onion and tomato, then once it's reduced, add garlic. Add a whole can of chipotle peppers and adobo to a blender with a little bit of water or chicken broth. Add it to your tomato and onion mixture and season with caldo de pollo. Add your chicken with a little bit of broth and season with oregano, salt, and pepper. Throw it on a tostada or sope.
You want something bad enough, I promise you can achieve it. Let me show you a quick healthy snack that should help with this. It's high in protein and low in calories. I rolled up some turkey breast, Swiss cheese, and jalapenos and seared it on the pan until the cheese was melted. You can also add any veggies you like.
This is how to make some pretty easy vegan chips and dip. You'll need some corn tortillas. Cut them into triangles and then add them to a bowl, along with a tablespoon of olive oil and some seasoning. Put these in a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes. For dip, I'm just gonna mash up an avocado, some vegan cream cheese, a little bit of hot sauce, and some cumin. I forgot to film a crunch test, so I made more.
Cooking street food on TikTok for 21 days. 6 pieces of chicken thigh. I'm gonna slice up 1 whole onion, mince up 8 cloves of garlic, heat up to medium high, drizzle in some oil, add in the onion, taste together for 2 to 3 minutes, add in your garlic, taste together for another 1 to 2 minutes or until fragrant. We're gonna add in the chicken, skin side down first. Side down first for 2 to 3 minutes or until there's some color on the skin. Add 6 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of vinegar, 2.5 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of black pepper, 1/4 cup of chicken stock, 2 teaspoons of black peppercorn. We're gonna need 3 pieces of bay leaf. Make sure that every piece of chicken is soaked in the sauce. Put the lid on. We're gonna let it cook on medium-low heat for 10 to 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we're gonna turn the heat up to medium-high. We're gonna start pouring the sauce all over the chicken, and we're gonna let it cook uncovered for another 5 to 7 minutes. Now look at that.
To make the best carrot fries on TikTok that don't even look like carrots. Olive oil, chili powder, garlic, smoked paprika and corn flour. Cook at 180 degrees for 45 minutes. Top with parsley, salt and pepper. Enjoy.
I know I've neglected my vegan and gluten-free followers lately, but I hope these apple cider cookie dough balls will make it up to you. Also, sometimes background music makes me want to change my voiceover to being more calm, so I'm gonna just be very zen and calm about the fact that I am once again blending a microwaved apple and oats into oat flour and mixing it with ingredients and calling it cookie dough. But real talk, this is delicious. But you do have to add in your apple mixture gradually to make sure that you don't add too much. You want the dough to be wet, so that's kind of hard to work with, like a little difficult to roll up, but still firm enough that you can. Sorry, I was distracted by the calmness. But then we roll it in cinnamon sugar, and I'll make more recipes.
Let's make homemade butter. Add in your heavy cream. Cover your butter with cold water and press out all the buttermilk. When the water gets murky, rinse it out. Repeat until the water runs clear. To get those last bits of water out, give the butter a nice spanking. Rest this in the fridge. That's a big stick of butter. Damn, that's good.
This is not your typical beans on toast. This is creamy, this is decadent, this has cinnamon in it because yes, cinnamon can be savory. To make this autumn staple, you're gonna wanna mince 4 garlic cloves and 1/4 of a yellow onion. If you don't like garlic, you can bring it down to 2 garlic cloves. Drain and rinse some beans and then saute the garlic and onion in olive oil. Now we're gonna add our spices, which is cinnamon, nutmeg, and cayenne. The cayenne adds a nice kick that you don't really notice, so don't be too terrified of it. Now we're gonna add whatever milk you'd like. I use oat milk because it's super creamy. Next up, you're gonna wanna add your drained beans and then season with salt and pepper to taste, and then take 3 sage leaves and kind of submerge them in the mixture. You wanna make sure you get all of that sage goodness. Simmer the beans covered for 10 to 15 minutes under low heat, and then squeeze half a lemon on top for that acid component, which is always necessary, and then you can go ahead and lightly mash the beans. Now toast up some crusty sourdough bread because sourdough is elite, and dive.
This 1,000-layer bread cake was inspired by Lady M Bakery's Millie Crepe, so I guess we can call it a Millie bread cake. All you need is some white bread, flattened. Add some whipped cream, stack it high, add more cream on the sides, then cocoa powder and refrigerate.
So this one time I got to cook for Will Ferrell, and this is how he likes his salmon cooked. Now let's go! First things first, temper 20 minutes and give it a quick 1/4-inch score. Rub it down with a little avocado oil, rosemary salt. If you know, you know. Sergeant Gilbert in the house, finely ground. Medium-low heat pan, avocado oil. Salmon in, skin side down, slight pressure. Baste it a little bit just with the oil. That's gonna help it cook evenly. 5 minutes later and flip, crushed garlic, tablespoon butter, fresh thyme. Pan back and baste. Baste until 120 internal and rest. I've got some more important, caught it. This is why I score it. I consider salmon skin bacon of the sea. Bacon of the sea! Coming in hot. Here's to the OGs, here's to the new followers. You know I love you, and I'm out.
It's soup season, and nothing is more comforting than a nice bowl of soup. Let's make mushroom bisque.
I used a mix of hen of the wood mushrooms and shiitake. You can use whatever mushroom mix you'd like. And then I sauteed some onions and garlic in a pot until they turned golden, and then I added in the mushrooms. I wanted the mushrooms to get really caramelized and charred and golden, so I let it sit for quite some time. I added a little bit more garlic as well. Then I seasoned it with salt, pepper, paprika, cayenne, parsley, and thyme. I used chicken broth for this. You can use vegetable stock if you want, or even water. Then I added Worcestershire sauce. Did I pronounce that correctly? I let this sit with the lid on top so the umami flavors can develop for about 15 minutes or so. Then I added heavy cream. You can add coconut cream if you want a vegan version. Taste this for seasoning to see if it needs anything else, and then I top this off with some parsley and some of these red chili flakes.
Do you need a super simple dinner? Well, then let's make veggie shrimp and gnocchi sheet pan dinner, because y'all love some sheet pan dinners. Let's go. First, get some peeled, deveined, tail-off raw shrimp. Thaw according to the package. You can use fresh shrimp, but we're balling on a budget in this household. Preheat your oven to 425. Get your pan and line it with parchment paper. After you've thawed and patted dry the shrimp, add it to a bowl. These are the spices I'm using, measure with your heart. Coat the shrimp well. Add them to one side of the sheet pan. Get your gnocchi and add it to a bowl. Drizzle them with olive oil and season with salt and pepper. Coat well. Add them next to the shrimp on the sheet pan. Wash and cut up some broccoli and yellow squash. Add to a bowl. Drizzle with some olive oil and season with salt and pepper. Add it to the sheet pan. Place in the oven. Set timer for 20 minutes. Take it out of the oven once it's done.
Hey you guys, let's go with an air fryer recipe tonight. And I promise you, although the cooking creature is cooking, it's gonna be delish. Also, it's super quick and easy. Plate, sides with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a little bit of Italian seasoning. Into your cooking creature. 380 for 25 minutes. Let the creature do its job. Now, get a pan, 1 stick of butter. Melt it. The heart wants it all tonight. We're doing garlic butter chicken. I'm gonna mince about 9 cloves. Easy. Add them to your food processor and mince them up. Time was saved today. Hey, make sure y'all turn your stove on. And a friendly reminder, if there's something in this recipe that you do not like or do not agree with, like the All-American Rejects say, move along. Add your garlic. Add in some fresh rosemary. Let it cook up. Be sure to stir it. Make an aluminum foil boat. I highly suggest cleaning as you go. Also, rosemary is completely optional. You do not need to add it. Oh, wow. Set your chicken in a boat. Pour on your garlic butter. Cover and let rest for 10 minutes. And there you
Fun fact, really sad fact, I never used to have grilled cheese with tomato soup, and now I know why it's a thing. It's soup season and we're making tomato soup because we don't buy it at the store, we make it ourselves. First, we're gonna prep our seasoning, which is sugar, oregano, and salt, and then heat olive oil in a pan and saute onion and garlic cloves, until softened, of course. Then we can add our canned tomatoes. I used peeled and crushed, the seasonings, vegetable stock, and 8 basil leaves that have been sliced. You can also use dry. Let that cook down for 5 minutes and then add some balsamic vinegar, which will add a nice sweetness to things. Let it simmer for 10 to 15 minutes again, and then go ahead and add your milk, which will help things get super creamy. I used oat, but literally use whatever you have, and now this step's important, but we're gonna add a cornstarch slurry to thicken things up and then add salt and pepper to taste. Let it simmer for 5 minutes, blend it together, and then go ahead and pour. Now get your crispy, melty grilled cheese and dive in.
Your new favorite snack while watching football. It starts with pork belly. Cut your pork belly into cubes and season generously with your favorite rub. Slap them on your smoker or oven at 225 for 2 to 3 hours. Once done, cover with honey and butter and nothing else. Throw them back on covered for another hour. And that's how you...
And here are simple recipe for spaghetti carbonara. Ingredients: 4 eggs, half onion, pancetta, pecorino, and Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna add 1 full egg. And for a recipe of 4 people, 3 additional yolks. I will add the pecorino cheese, 1/3, and then 2/3 of Parmesan grated cheese. I will whisk everything until I will obtain a nice yellowish cream, and I will put it aside. Mince the onions, add the pancetta, cook. Then salt, spaghetti in the boiling water, and when done, I will add and mix everything together. Pepper, and voila.
So, some of my favorite eggs. You make sure the bottom of the pan is covered with this kind of butter. Then you get some mozzarella cheese or whatever cheese you have at home that you don't know what to do with it. You cover the bottom and then some salt. And next, the eggs go in. Some more salt, and this is the magic trick. To make sure it's milk everywhere. We all have sliced cheese, we don't know what to do with it. You put it here and there, semi-covering the eggs. And now goes to the oven. 350 degrees, 5 minutes. In the meantime, 2 slices of bread, in this case brioche, some oil, and you put them in the oven next to the eggs. Take a look. The eggs are nice, they are shiny, they are runny. People of TikTok, people of America, we are ready to eat. These eggs with cheese are gonna change your life forever.